problem 16 on your review. By the way, if you're having to correct problem 7 on your quiz, you might want to take a look at this one. One of the things they like to do on the EOC is to trick you by putting a prism on its side. Now, how can I tell this is a prism? Well, I have three of my sides are rectangles. If more than 2 of the sides are rectangles, it's a prism. And you can probably remember what prisms are because you really spent a lot of time with them in 8th grade. So the only 2 sides that are not rectangles are these 2. There's a green one there, and if I shade it in a little bit, there's another one, right? You can see the 2 bases. So what they love to do on the EOC is not put the prism on its base. They like to put it on one of the sides. Then they expect you to be smart enough to figure out to put it back on its side. All right, that's a base, there's a base underneath, and these are the lateral sides. All right, so what they're really looking for is the area of all the rectangles. One way to do this, let's say you're getting a little frustrated, just find the area of each rectangle and add them together. I'm going to go ahead and use the formula, and using my math chart, lateral surface area, that's what they want, lateral, which means only the sides, for a prism is perimeter times height. Lateral surface area equals perimeter times height. Well, they mean the perimeter of the base. They mean this distance around. How long would it take me to walk around that? Well, if this is 5 feet and that's 12 feet, and they said they didn't give it to you, but what they meant is that that's a right angle there. And they will give that to you on the EOC. It was just left off the review. Now, hopefully you might recognize there are 2 really popular Pythagorean triples. There's the 3, 4, 5 and the 5, 12, 13. This one is the 5, 12, 13. 13 goes on the hypotenuse. Now, if you didn't remember the 5, 12, 13, don't feel bad. Pythagorean theorem still works, so you don't have to do that, all right? But, so you can go ahead and just use that. When you do the Pythagorean theorem, 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared, you're going to find out 25 plus 144 is 169, and when you take the square root, you'll find 13. All right, so that's 13. So the perimeter of this triangle is to get the distance around. So the perimeter equals 5 plus 12 plus 13. Let me do the 12 plus 13 first. That's easier. 25 plus 5 is 30. So my perimeter is 30. Okay? Pretty easy. Now I need to find the height. Well, they don't mean this height for the triangle. What they mean is how long are the sides of all the lateral faces. This height. This is the height here. And that's going to be this little 3 feet value. Okay, so it's the length that all these rectangles have in common. All right, so I put in a 3 here, and I get 90. It'll be 90 feet squared, right? So I put 90 feet under here. You can barely see it. There you go. All right. Now, this next step, they want me to convert to square yards. Well, in the dimension, if I convert to square yards, let's just look at the dimension, right? 3 feet to 1 yard, right? So I have the effect of dividing by 3. That's one dimension. So if I ask you for the perimeter of this, I could just divide this by 3 to tell you the perimeter in yards. That would be 30 divided by 3 is 10. But I want the lateral surface area. For area, that is 2 dimensions. So instead of dividing by 3, I'm going to divide by 3 squared. So it's going to be 90 divided by 3 squared. Let's see, 90 divided by 9. Aha, that's going to be 10 yards squared. Okay, the reason I'm dividing by 3 squared is because area is 2-dimensional. The 3 will come into play twice. Not just for this dimension, but also this dimension. So, my answer is 10 yards squared. On to problem 17. We're almost through the review packet. Sam has a cylindrical glass with a diameter of 3 inches, so this distance is 3, and a height of 6 inches. 6 inches. All right? He put his ice in this drink, and that took up 5 cubic inches. So cubic inches is volume. Volume of the ice equals 5 inches cubed. All right? 5 cubic inches right there. Okay. So the question is, how much soda, what is the volume left that I can put the soda in? So let me find the volume of the glass first, which is a cylinder, and then subtract the ice. So volume of the glass minus volume of the ice will give me volume of soda. All right? What is the volume of the glass? Well, it's a cylinder. And formula for volume for a cylinder, here's cylinder right there, and it's base times height. And when it says base times height, it means big B times height. That's like area. Here they tell me this number's 5. All right? And that's what I'm looking for, V of the soda. Well, the base of a cylinder is a circle, right? So I need to find, the formula for that is pi r squared. Okay, all right, I'm getting closer. Do I know the radius? Well, I know the diameter is 3. So the radius has to be half of that. Half of 3 is 1.5, 1.5. So pi times 1.5 squared times 6, all minus 5, right? 1.5 squared, I happen to know, is 2.25, but I'll use my calculator. Why not? So 1.5 squared, enter, times 6, enter, and I get 13.5 pi minus 5. You're probably going, why didn't I multiply by the pi? I love leaving pi in my answer till the very, very, very end. All right, so now I know it's 13.5 pi, so I can just say 13.5, I could have said answer, pi, it's okay to put it right like that, minus 5, enter. And I get 37.4115, etc. Okay? So that gives me 37.4115, etc. All right? They say to the nearest cubic inch. That means the whole units, this one right here. So it should be to 37 cubic inches or inches cubed. And that's your answer.